Radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Here we go! Friday. That was a good one. Thank you. Yo, welcome back to the show. Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah, I busted out my arena host. Yeah. Here we go. To start off this Friday morning.
Is your voice feeling better?
Yeah, it took a whole week to recover for sure. And, you know, what I did was, obviously I yap a lot on the radio, but I, didn't talk to my girlfriend all week. So that really helped rest my voice. You know, I just silent treatment and, we weren't fighting. She just why aren't you talking to me? And I would just look at her and be like, I'm resting my voice.
Yeah, vocal rest.
Yeah.
Like an opera singer.
Right. And in the meantime, say you would give me a call on my cell phone, I'd be like, yo, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Oh, wait, she's coming. I'm resting my voice. Oh, man, I am stoked for today's show. It's going to be a good one. First and foremost, listener bait is still the Black Keys winning before you could buy them. Those tickets go on sale today at 10 a.m. Your opportunity to win those tickets is at 8 a.m. And the only way that you can enter to win is to enter into our Karma contest by going to the Rock 102.1 Facebook page and commenting below the post that's pinned to the top of that page there. It's the poster of the Black Keys with my face on it. It says Karma Contest. It's very self-explanatory. Tag a friend and cross your fingers and tune in at 8 a.m. Besides that, I have other things to be excited about because, with the Black Keys, I was mentioning yesterday, I had an email on Wednesday from the programmers, and they're like, hey, we noticed you've been putting in the Black Keys as your listen to win moment, but you can't put in the Black Keys. That's that's against company policy. We know what songs test well, so you stay away from the Black Keys. Even though I played Tighten Up, I played let me pull it up. I mean, I played songs that you guys all know and love.
The hits.
I played the hits. I know what the hits are when it comes to the Black Keys, but it doesn't matter. They're like, we'll pick out your Black Keys. Thank you. And so they programmed the Black Keys in my playlist, which I normally don't get in my playlist for yesterday and today as basically the cue to call in. But they forgot that I'm doing this Karma contest, and I stopped doing the cue to call in.
Right.
Literally the day that they emailed me, hey, we're just going to put this in for you. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't say anything. I'm like, cool. Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, let's spice up the playlist a little bit. And I think they heard me. I think the gods have heard me. I've been praying to the radio gods here for months and be like, please, Lord, baby Jesus. You got to represent the baby Jesus in moments like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
All I ask on this new rock radio station is for me to get the opportunity to play some new rock. That's all I want, baby Jesus. Look at me. I'm a good Christian boy. I don't murder. I don't pillage. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't even steal anymore, Oh, maybe just a little bit, but I'm talking very, very little, right? So, baby Jesus, as a reward for my servitude, good word.
Yeah.
Please let me play some new rock. And then all of a sudden, I got an email from Razor, who's not baby Jesus. No. I had to double check.
Right.
I had to Google it. And in that email, he informed me that this morning I have new music to play, not once, but twice.
Oh, from whom?
I'm glad you asked, because this is a big deal, Powers. I have brand new music from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, you're talking one of the heavyweights. John Frusciante's back in the band, so it's not going to suck like the Red Hot Chili Peppers without John Frusciante. Honestly, I'm a big Frusciante mark. I've always been a fan of his work. I think he's brilliant, and him being back in the band was the best thing for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they have new music, and I get to play it. I'm going to debut that song here in the 6 o'clock hour, and then I'm going to replay it probably in the 8 o'clock hour. The fact that I get to play it twice is a big deal. Normally, I wouldn't like to play the same song twice, but I've been doing corporate radio for a while, and I got used to it.
Yeah.
So, be ready for that. We have so many things to be excited for. Hell, I'm celebrating U of A's win over UCLA last night.
Oh.
That was huge. Now, the Wildcats, they've been on a tear. They were supposed to face UCLA around the end of December. UCLA is ranked number 3. The Wildcats are ranked number 7. But we know that the Wildcats are better than UCLA, and UCLA knew this. So around the end of December, they tried to claim COVID. Oh. And they're like, oh, man, we want to face you and all, but we got the COVID. Legit, it was suspect where sports writers are like, wait a second. The timing is very suspicious. Next thing you know, there's video being leaked that they're practicing, even though they got quote unquote COVID and couldn't play against the Wildcats. Well, guess what? Those excuses ran out. And, thanks Omicron, it looks like they built up an immunity, get their ass whooped because they came here to the McHale Center and the U of A Wildcats, ranked number 7, took down UCLA ranked number 3, 76 to 66.
Look at that.
Something like that. So it's a beautiful thing. And that means the Wildcats will go up in ranking. We're keeping an eye on March. It's going to be a fantastic basketball season. And that was another thing that Baby Jesus answered. I said, please, Baby Jesus, send me Tommy Lloyd, to coach the Wildcats and recruit all this great talent. Please, Baby Jesus, I need to see the Wildcats win while I'm here in Tucson before they fire me again. And Baby Jesus said, I got you, son. I got that, and I'll give you some chili peppers. And I'm like, oh, my God, Baby Jesus, stop. I'm about to finish. And that's it. End of my rant. Morning Morons coming up next. Keep it here all morning long. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA B Presents. Are you ready, Powers?
I think so. I don't even know.
All right, well, then, let's go. Oh, we're live on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the live podcast broadcast stream. We're about to play that brand new Red Hot Chili Peppers. As I hyped up on the show open, I hope you guys are doing good. Of course, you got Herb Stratford in studio, Powers in studio. I'm just mixing up this live speed break that we just recorded because Powers asked me a question about the Slash interview. And if you may recall on the stream, he said, you need to ask him about the Ninja Turtles. Like, this is hot off the press. I'm going to go viral asking Slash this question. And I instantly regretted it when I did. But,
I can't believe you did.
I did because, honestly, I ran out of shit to say. Look.
You got to prep, man. You got to have a whole list of questions. You're going to talk to somebody like Slash.
Yes and no, and I'll tell you why. And when it comes to interviews, you want to have a natural, inquisitive mind. You want to be naturally curious, and when sometimes you can over prep yourself into a situation where all the answers. I did this once with K-Flay. Right, I really went down the rabbit hole with her before I had her in studio, and I had her in studio for like 2 hours, and I had all scheduled, and I was watching YouTube for hours and watched all these interviews, and I did so much research that I developed a crush on her.
I was going to say that's the problem.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, that was one of the problems. But then when she sat down in front of me, I had no more questions. I knew all the answers. In fact,
I'm spent.
Yeah. And then I had a news girl on with me at the time. She would ask a question and I would be like, that's a dumb question. He answers this. And I would answer the question before the artist. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So I made it one of my worst interviews I ever had. So I tried to go in with a kind of blanket knowledge. It's Slash. So I had started asking him about the South Park thing. There's certain questions I've been meaning to ask Slash for years.
What was the South Park thing?
Well, there was an episode of South Park where they basically turned him into Santa Claus, a mythical creature. Yeah. So I asked him about that.
See? Oh, so me bringing him Ninja Turtles is insane. It's like, but South Park's a great cartoon.
It is.
He was on that one.
He was on it. Slash was never featured in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, he wasn't.
Shredder was. See, that's where you get it confused.
You're right.
It was Slash, not Shred.
Right, that's what it is.
Yeah. Rocksteady, Bebop. I mean, do I have to fill you in on all this stuff?
If he had known, there is the evil Ninja Turtle is named Slash. I forgot that for a second. You might remember you played a video game. There's an evil Ninja Turtle. His name's Slash.
That's true. Yeah.
See that?
God damn,
I didn't.
You know
that.
all these things. I'm like, that's just nerd knowledge 101 right there. Like, no one's gonna out nerd you when it comes to this classic video game, toy, cartoon information.
It's true.
Quite good at it.
You're brilliant. Yeah.
I love it. I honestly need to find that gig. Like, there are all these stupid websites and people that have these correspondence, news, web, things like that. And I'm always trying to do my own thing. I'm like, I should probably just get hired to join a team of an established YouTube channel or something. It's got to be out there somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
But you pitch something to Nerdist or something, right?
Yeah. Again, I don't want to. You can't do your own thing all the time. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I would like to just be like, hey, we're going to hire you because you're great at it. And now I work for you, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because then you could do your own thing after that. I'm exhausted.
Real quick, I'm going to play you guys on the stream just a small clip of this Red Hot Chili Peppers because it sounds good.
Riding on a hitless horse to make the trip.
Echo.
Nah.
You hear that Fashanti guitar lick? I mean, I said when I played it the first time that, this is a classic example of the chemistry that makes up a magic in a band and how important it is. And you never know what the pieces are going to be that fits. But when it fits and it clicks and there's an actual click that goes on, there's magic being made. And you take one piece away, and this has happened time and time again through the history of rock and roll. You take out just one piece where you think, oh, that member's not that important, and it destroys the entire band and the music that they make and create. That's how it was with John Frusciante and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. No other guitarist can bring out the best in the rest of the band than John Frusciante. Without them, they're basically a rapping cover band. They are legitimately. So we're going to talk about Jackass Forever here in about 10 seconds. They're live on the air. I'll pull up that trailer as well. And they have a female Jackass member, not in this movie, but they casted her on Instagram.
No. She is in this movie.
Is she in this movie?
She's in the movie.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. So I was talking about Jackass Forever on the podcast broadcast stream, about to review this. And yeah, I saw a piece that they casted a female Jackass member via Instagram, but I thought they were talking about a future Jackass installment as they try to evolve, and Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O, the older guys, take a step back, just produce it, and they let young dummies injure themselves.
Like a
The
lot
next
more
generation of idiots. Yeah.
Right.
No, they so Knoxville reached out to her. I don't know how they connected on Instagram or whatever, and he reached out to her, and she's in the film.
Wow.
And so it's like, we're gonna equally abuse a female body.
well, that's nice. It's good to see
Equality.
Progress. Was she doing crazy stuff on Instagram? Is that how they noticed her? Does she doing crazy stuff?
That's a good question. Apparently so. It wasn't just because she was a hot girl on Instagram, because, I mean, how can you cast just one?
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
And then Johnny Knoxville sliding in DMs on Instagram, that's a whole nother joke in its own right. But yeah, I think she was probably getting up, views and clicks by doing outrageous things, a la Jackass, and encapsulated the spirit and the vibe of Jackass. And he saw star potential. Though that's the one thing about Johnny Knoxville you could recognize in him. His whole gimmick was kind of a bite off of Bam Margera and CKY and what they were doing. That whole Big Brother scene was really just a rip off of that. But he incorporated them, and then he was able to recognize talent in the other cast members and bring them in, like a Steve-O and Chris Pontius, and then basically build up the brand. So,
well, and I think the other thing about it, it's honestly about Johnny is, he's dipped his toe into some other stuff. He worked with John Waters. He did some other stuff. But at the end of the day, he realizes this is his strong suit. You know what I mean? It's like people he's good at it. He enjoys the hell out of it.
He obviously loves it.
Yeah. So why, he's not trying to be like, okay, no, I'm going to direct. You know what I mean? It's like, he's like, I'm having a great time with my buddies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's great time with my buddies. The
that
movie
happens to be filmed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but in hindsight, we're gonna see that this was actually a very dark period, and it led to a lot of darkness amongst the entire crew and cast. But even Johnny Knoxville himself, this whole press run has been talking about these life-threatening injuries that he suffered, and what the repercussions that he's been having. Yeah, the brain injuries, the penis injuries, and we're going to ask ourselves in 10, 20 years,
was it worth it?
Was it worth it? Depending on how bad Johnny Knoxville's body deteriorates and how fast it does, because at this point, it's already getting there.
So here's two numbers for you. The movies that so far, right, have generated about 250 million. Okay. Just a good number to have, right?
Yeah.
And the estimated medical bills for the core guys, 25 million.
Right.
Okay. So just think about that.
Okay,
right?
so that means that they stubbed their toe in America, right? That's what that meant.
Yeah,
it's 2 aspirin and a Band-Aid.
Yeah,
right.
Go on your way.
With full coverage insurance. Yes, that was the copay rate.
The gold package.
But but Knoxville has said that the concussion and the broken ribs and whatever from the bull incident that really made him start to think, maybe I'm done.
Yeah.
Right. But now I'll tell you what. Now he's doing all the press, and now he's kind of like, well, maybe I could do a few more.
It's addictive.
So, it is.
And that's what I don't want to see. I don't want to wake up one morning, go to the internet, start prepping the show, and see Johnny Knoxville's dead because of a stunt gone wrong.
Yep.
I don't want to see that.
I mean, that would, but just like the crocodile hunter, we miss Steve, right? But how did he go? Doing what he's doing, that's not
He
surprising.
didn't even die by a crocodile.
Yeah, but he's doing his thing.
It besmirched his legacy.
It was aquatic, whatever it was, and animals.
He
and
was
things.
messing with a stingray, right?
Yes,
He
it was
messing
a
with a stingray and shouldn't have. You know,
maybe. I don't
and
know
now
about
his
that.
kids are doing it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't know. I think that if that's the way he went, it's like, oh, that's of course sad. but it's better than just like, oh, Johnny Knoxville was just in a car accident and it just happened to happen. If he goes out
Doing
in
what
a
he loves.
blaze of glory and
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go. Like how the wrestlers say, if I'm gonna go, that's how I want to go. Like
The end of The Wrestler was very sad too.
It is
So
very sad.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't
it's-
want a sad ending for Johnny Knoxville. He's
I
too
agree.
likable. He's
Yeah.
charismatic. So what is the buzz with Jackass Forever? Is it as good as the previous films? Does it hold up? And is it worth seeing?
So, it's at 90% on Rotten Tomato right now,
Damn.
right?
Good
Which is a
stuff.
lot.
Yeah.
Although that could just be the early fanboy reviews,
Mhm.
right? You have to see how it plays out over time. But this is like the fourth movie, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and they've already said they have enough for a 4.5. So they have other stunts that didn't get included.
Always. Yeah.
Right. So they're thinking about it. I mean, I think in my mind, I think this is mainly for people who are into it. Like, you're not going to walk into the fourth movie in a series and go, oh my God, I love that. You're going to be like, who are these people and what is
Right.
wrong with them? So if you love this stuff, absolutely. You've upped the ante. You got a new group of younger people abusing themselves. You got people like Machine Gun Kelly popping up. I'm down to see that guy get hurt.
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, he gets
So-
hit in the face, gets knocked on his ass in a pool, and I just saw a little clip, and I'm like, that's enough for admission right there. Yeah. Like
So, yeah.
oversized fist to the face of MGK. Like they got their finger on the pulse. They
Yeah.
know what America wants to see.
That's right. That's right.
funny.
So, if you're a fan, check it out. I mean, if you're not, why would you even think about checking it out? So,
Right. All right, so yeah, and when it comes to Jackass, I think a lot of people want those OMG moments, like I can't believe they're doing it,
Mhm.
and I feel like they're going to pack a couple of those OMG moments in Jackass Forever. So it's definitely the film that America needs to see right now, just to get off, get their mind off of all the other crap that's out there. And just get back into the movie theater. So 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. The buzz is saying that it's worth it. What you be the judge. Check it out this weekend. We have more with Herb Stratford that we're going to talk about next. Moonfall's a project that we're going to dive deep into. And then on the podcast broadcast stream, we asked this question: who is the best local pizza joint in town? Because we're going to make another bracket. We want to find out who's the best of the best, but we need nominees. We're bringing that to our streamers. So join us on the Facebook page and youtube.com/beefvegan and nominate your favorite local pizza joint now. We'll be back with more Beef Vegan Presents after the break. Keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. Look at me sounding all professional as
Super
shit.
professional.
I know.
I
It's
have
like
a-
you've been doing this for 6 months or something.
You know what
the
I'm
heck?
saying? You see, here's the thing, Herb. I know that initially.
Here, wait, put your feet up as you talk.
Okay.
This sounds like one of those. Hang on.
There's the thing, Herb. Because you know me. You know me for years here.
Yeah,
And
it's
I've
true.
always been like the bumbling sidekick or the
It's
whipping boy.
It's a facade. Yeah.
Well, it's not that it's a facade. And of course, the beginning of the show, there was definitely stumbles and moments of growth, but it wasn't even growth or learning. It was relearning what I already mastered before I went into other roles.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
put in my 10,000 hours,
Yeah.
and more so.
Yeah.
And I study this game, and the only thing that's holding me back is that I'm a fucking idiot. And it's hard for me to put together words. But besides that, my instincts and knowing this craft and being a professional are on point, man. And I would rival it to almost anyone else in this company. I mean, there's smart people who know radio in this company. The guy that I used to work for, he knows the industry very well. And Mucho's super smart. But besides that, I don't think. Oh, Greg, I'll give Greg some credit there.
So, maybe what you're saying is you had a faux pas.
Oh,
Oh, you pretentious douche.
That's what we call a callback.
way to articulate that point.
Thank you, Powers.
So, and that's good actually to bring the point because I just lost it. Once I put my feet up and I started getting all high on myself, then I forgot what I was talking about. I was like, let me tell you what, I'm great, Herb.
Because all the blood went to your feet.
You're right. Let me put my feet down. Get it back in my head.
I have a Jackass question.
Okay.
What's your favorite and or least favorite, but you get what I mean, like most memorable Jackass stunt that that you've seen?
Let's see. My favorite and most memorable. There were a lot of outrageous ones. It was stuff that I would do in my own real life was like jumping with the jumping golf carts.
Yeah, I've done that.
Like that. Yeah, I've done that. So that's relatable. I do enjoy the pranks where, well, first off, all the pranks on Bam that involve snakes and seeing him as scared as he was and crying. Those
Yeah.
were always funny. And then the oversized hand.
I think that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah. As they're just walking, you're like,
And
hey,
then
high
boom,
five.
high
Oh, bam.
five. Yeah, from that movie. High five.
Yeah.
Boom.
But the best prank, the thing that got me was actually not Jackass at all. CKY2K, the grossest thing I ever saw. And it was at such a young age. And it really set off a prank war amongst me and my friends. We were all about this. And when CKY2K came out, it was just the buzz. And there's a scene where Brandon takes shit from toilet paper and puts it on Ryan Dunn's mouth and goes, nobody out does, shit or whatever. I forgot what he said. It was very funny. He puts it in there. He puts the toilet paper with shit on his mouth and then smears it across his face. And they run out into the hotel hallway and they're falling over laughing. And then so then Ryan Dunn wakes up and he's freaking out, rightfully so. And he's like, I want to kill this guy. And Bam, trying to protect Brandon, was like, well, maybe you should you should pee on him and stuff. He's like, pee on him. I want to get a machete and cut his fucking head off. What are you talking about? Pee on him. He just put shit across my lips. It was brutal. And it's a scene that's so cringeworthy, but also entertaining. And, but then, like I said, what it did was it started this prank war amongst me and my friends. So at the time, I'm like 19, 20 years old. I'm living with, my friends in a house. And one time I'm on the toilet and writing, I used to like to write, do creative writing. So I'm on the toilet. It's one of my favorite places to write. I'm writing this song. And then the bathroom window was open. And my buddy Danny throws water through the bathroom window, gets me wet and my paper wet while I'm on the toilet.
Yeah.
Pisses me off. And he's like, I got you. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. And I come out and I'm like, I'm going to get you. Right. So then I go out later on. I go to work and I work a very late night and I don't get home till like 3-ish in the morning. And it's a winter night. So it's very cold. Now, Danny's window, the front window, was actually broken out. There was a hole in his front window. This is where we're living. We're living on the west side of Phoenix. So it's not like, we're in Bel Air or anything. So he has a hole. So I'm like, I go home. I'm laying down in bed. I'm trying to get to sleep. And then I'm just getting pissed all over again, reliving this. I'm like, oh, wait a second. And then I remember there's a hole in his window. And then I get an idea. And I'm like, oh. So I go and I go to the front of the house and I grab the hose and I crank that thing full blast. Now this is freezing water. It's like Arizona winter. So you're talking like 40 degrees outside. Yeah. And so then I pinch it. I go right up in there and I go through the little blinds and I line them up in my sight. And then I go, rise and shine, motherfucker. Boom. And he goes, no. And then water spraying and it's going and it keeps spraying. I'm like, just dump it on him. Right. Now, Danny's in prison right now. Danny's a scrapper, could pretty much beat anyone's ass, right? So I knew I was risking my ass doing this prank, but I needed to get revenge. He got my notebook wet.
Yeah.
So he comes out and to his credit, this is kind of like man law, and he is like a great friend in this aspect. And there's been times where we almost got in fights and he's crossed the line, but this is one time that he respected the rules of the game. So he comes out, he's in his boxer shorts, he's dripping wet, he's shivering, and his fists are clenched so tightly you could see the bone of every knuckle, like just angry. And he's like, good one. And I'm ready to get knocked out, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, here,
and you've already resigned to it. You're like, it was worth it.
Yeah, 100% worth it. My jaw's gonna get broken, but you know what? Once I could unwire my jaw, I'm gonna be laughing about how I got him. But to his credit, he said, good one. And then he went back and I like drenched his phone. I broke his phone. Like his bed
was all wet. Yeah.
Wet, soaked, dude. It was like a tsunami. At 3:00 in the morning, freezing cold water. But if it wasn't because he got me first. Yeah. But then after that, right, I was going to bed. I was putting my dresser in front of my door.
Oh, of course.
Like I'd lock it up like Fort Knox because he never got me back, luckily, but I made sure that I didn't give him any opportunity to.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that was a prank war. Okay. The question we're asking you streamers here is to say, what is your favorite local pizza joint in town? Because we do want to make a bracket. Herb, you have a favorite local pizza joint?
I've just got turned on to that place called Fiame or Flame or whatever it is. It's up at like
It's pronounced flame, you idiot. No, I'm just kidding.
it's at like Sunrise and like Swan or something.
I
No,
almost did
this
a
is the
spit
guy.
take.
No, seriously, this is the guy who's like won like the pizza tossing competitions in Italy and stuff.
Oh,
Like he's
no
like the
kidding.
real deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this pizza is really good. There's lines out the door. Yeah, it's right up there. Yeah, like Swan and like whatever that is, Sunrise or whatever.
Yeah, write that down.
It's really good.
Yes, and not
Blame.
Pizza Hut, not Little Caesars. You
No.
guys are funny. We need favorite local joints. Favorite local joints
That's
here.
right.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to play this little speed break here that we just recorded, the slash question.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 43 seconds here. You'll be able to hear this. And I like doing these. This is a way to kind of keep that podcast feel while going on the radio. You guys hear it in the morning before we go live on the podcast. But a lot of times when I do podcast broadcast stream, I just let the sweepers play because we're having so much fun off air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's your question, Powers? What's
The
your
other
favorite?
day, you said you were going to tell me you asked Slash what his favorite Ninja Turtle was, and it didn't go well. What happened?
I'm going to play you that clip next week, actually.
Okay.
And Slash was super nice and cordial. And saying, yeah, I know the Ninja Turtles. I'm like, cool. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? And he's like, oh, no, buddy. I don't know the Ninja Turtles like that. I know of the Ninja Turtles. I'm fucking Slash, man. I'm not watching
Oh,
cartoons.
that's amazing then.
Hey, you know what? He's not Slash. His real name is Saul. So let's just. You know.
Oh, look at Herb. A guy named Herb name shaming.
Well, you know what? I think Herb can name shame us all.
I
Thank
guess. Well, I've officially seen it all. There you go.
Yeah.
And then,
Great. Now Slash is going to come after me with a hose.
He
That's
should.
right.
Through my window.
You better make sure your windows aren't broken.
Put your dresser in front of the door.
Oh, I'm telling
Honey, what are you doing? Oh, it's a long story.
you.
Beef
Slashes
slash
everywhere.
Saul shows up. Look out.
Saul, how dare you? There was a question I asked him. He said, very good question. And I always like getting that response when
You
I
do.
ask. But so I asked him because, when I went down the little rabbit hole for Slash, I was reminded that he's actually British. Did you know this?
No, I don't think I did. know
Yeah,
that.
he was born over in the UK, and he grew up there until a certain age, and then moved to America. But yeah, and I was like, so do you ever speak with the accent, or how long did it take you to lose your accent? Right. So we talked about the accent, and then I'm not going to tell you the answer, but
No.
yeah, he was like, oh, that's a good question. No one asks, and I'm like, yeah, no one even figures you're just a mythical creature. Like, you even have
He
hair.
kind of is.
What
a mythical
are
It's
you?
true.
creature.
Yeah.
He sort of sprung out of nowhere, right? You know what I mean? Like he was like this fully formed like musician. It wasn't like you saw him coming up in other bands or whatever. I mean, maybe in LA they did, I don't know.
Sure.
but-
Maybe, but yeah, and then remain the
National.
same
Yeah.
for 40 years.
Absolutely.
Iconic look.
Yep.
Like just
Yep.
cool. Doesn't talk much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Laid back.
age. I think I asked about masks. I'm like, did you like Pandemic? Because then you can't see any of you at all. Like,
Right.
you're
You're
just
just barely.
completely
Yeah,
hidden.
it's true.
Yeah, you're like a hairy ninja.
Well, it's like, what did Buckethead do? Did he put a mask on over the bucket? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. No, I think buckets prevent you getting coronavirus.
Yeah, I remember
Science
they
is
said
still
that.
out on that.
Yeah.
It might have been
Joe
disproven.
Rogan said it works.
The CDC was telling us wear buckets for a minute,
Yeah.
and then they're just like, oh, psych, you got
Yeah.
COVID. I guess it didn't work.
Go back. I said, let's try dog cones, everyone. Everyone needs
Yeah.
a dog cone.
Just imagine if that was the case, dude.
Cone of shame.
I would,
Ugh.
I would express it.
Herb would wear it. He'd
I would.
still be wearing it. Yeah.
It'd be stylish. Different colors. It'd be very
Yeah,
cool.
you would go like designer dog cones.
yeah. With the Chanel C's on it. Yeah,
It would
very
be.
cool.
Everything you saw happen with a mask would happen with
Yeah,
the
totally.
human cone.
Yes.
That you know what? That could be a Saturday Night Live skit.
I'm sure it could.
I think it could happen.
I'm surprised it hasn't.
Let's get
been.
Lauren on the
Alright.
phone.
Let's get Lauren on the phone. The gatekeeper of comedy.
Right. I'm going to pull up this trailer here. And then, Todd, I'm going to get you on the stream as well so you could hype up. That'll be in the third segment. We'll talk about your D&D event that you got going on. It's for charity for suicide awareness and prevention, which is good. The other day, my daughter goes to Catalina High School. A kid OD'd in gym
Really?
at Catalina.
What?
Yeah, yes, man. These pills, they're crazy.
What? Oh,
Yes.
oh my
Is it
God.
like fentanyl or something?
Yeah, of course it's fentanyl, dude. Fentanyl's in everything. And luckily, the FBI and Tucson law enforcement just yesterday busted up a gang
I saw that.
down there of drug traffickers, largely pushing fentanyl. Fentanyl's in everything. And I tell my daughter, like, the saying is one pill can kill. I like it. If it rhymes, I like things that rhyme.
It's true.
Yes, and that's the reality. And I used to kind of be on the Bert Kreischer tip saying just do half. is his parental advice, which is not terrible advice, but nowadays with fentanyl, even half will kill you. So I just say keep it natural. If you want to party, I don't suggest you party as a minor, but if you do end up experimenting and partying, keep it natural, man. Just weed and shrooms and alcohol. Sometimes cocaine, but no, just kidding.
The list just keeps growing.
Good dad. Yeah. Just such a good dad.
Okay, some ivermectin, whatever you have to use.
Whatever. Keep it natural.
Yeah.
No, keep it green.
I'll tell you, when some of my friends, we get a little wild. Tums, some Metamucil, Tums go a long way.
That's why I don't hang out with your friends, because they're way too much for me. All right, we got 7 seconds we're talking about Moonfall with Herb Stratford. Keep those comments about your favorite pizza joint in the thread, please.
Mm-hmm.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. There you go with a little 5-finger death punch. We're back here with film critic Herb Stratford, talking all things Moonfall, which we're about to look at the trailer for here on the live stream. What is Moonfall? I never heard of this.
So this is Roland Emmerich, who, is part of the team that gave us, Independence Day and, the day after tomorrow and, sort of the modern day disaster guy, right? With all the CGI, buildings blowing up and all that stuff.
Okay.
So this is his new movie. And basically, he's sort of been on a losing streak. Let's be honest. He's had a lot of turds. Things are just not working out for this guy. I don't know if it's just like a relic of the early 2000s, that like this stuff was like cool or something, but it's just not working. So anyway, this is new thing. The moon gets knocked off its course and it's going to crash into the earth. No one believes, that there's anything we can do about it. But Halle Berry, she's a former astronaut, and so now she's the administrator. She calls in her buddy, played by Patrick Wilson, another astronaut. They're like, okay, we're going to go up and see if we can, do something, right?
Yeah.
They bring along John Bradley, who is from Game of Thrones. He's what's his name's best friend, Jon Snow's best friend. The sort of the monkey guy, right?
Yes.
I don't mean monkey like a monkey. I mean the monk like guy.
Yes.
Okay. And so he's a conspiracy theorist, and so basically the three of them go up to the moon to see what's going on. But big surprise, the moon is actually not like a planetary object. It's like a construction of some sort. So,
it's like the Death Star.
Yeah, basically.
Yes. I love when conspiracy theories make it into my Hollywood movies. Well, honestly, the moon is weird. I'll leave it at that. It doesn't make sense, and nobody
doesn't make sense.
Nobody that studies it thinks it makes sense. So
the moon is weird.
Yes.
That's your beef tip for today.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's sort of, people are hating on it. They're just saying, whatever. I mean, I think a lot of people are like Halle Berry is the astronaut, not buying it. It's like Denise Richards is the nuclear scientist in the Bond movie. I don't know.
Right.
Well, the trailer looks terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is probably higher than it's going to end up because there's people who've been like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I will say if you're into big disaster films, it's probably something you want to see on the big screen, right?
The graphics in the trailer look cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least, but at this point, we're in 2022 and, with modern technology, it's really bad to have bad graphics. I think they got that part down.
Yeah, well, they spent a lot of money. It's like $100 or $200 million. They spent a lot of money on the effects, but I just sort of feel like the disaster. We're living in a disaster. Do you want to go see a disaster?
Right. That's true. If you were a movie producer, would you risk $200 million by casting Halle Berry as the lead? Because she hasn't really had a great track record.
Well, here's the thing. What I would do is I would be less worried about us in America and be thinking about how's it going to play in China.
Okay, that's what it is.
So really, if you think about it, it's all international. It's like it used to be like 50-50, and then it was like 2/3, 1/3 foreign. Now it's like 15% is domestic. Everything else is overseas.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And you're
crazy.
You're what's wrong with Hollywood. It's that mentality. It's just like, screw it. We'll put out garbage, but we'll make it look shiny and we'll sell it to the Chinese. And there's so many of them, they won't even know. It's racist and it's greedy and it's ruining films. But if you're a fan of the Fast and Furious, good for you.
They've been showing that. They did it on South Park. They made fun of that, right? When Randy goes there because he's just like showing you how Disney's doing it.
Yeah.
They're changing their movies to fit the bill.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Good point.
So they do. I mean, and some of them are more overt because they end up casting like, a Chinese actor as a main role, or they had the action take place in China, like the Meg, right?
Yes.
The shark movie, which had to have all those kind of boxes ticked. But this is definitely, this feels crafted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like, this has got international appeal because the whole earth is at peril, right? It's not just America.
Right.
America.
Everyone in the world's got to see this because
Yeah.
this can happen because the moon is weird. All right, we're going to continue the conversation on the podcast broadcast stream. Be back with more Beef Vegan Presents right after the break. Keep it right here.
So funny.
The moon is weird.
Clear? I tried to bookend it. Bookend it with the moon is
It's a
weird.
good callback.
It is weird though, man. And with me and joining me via satellite is an expert on weird moon stuff, the Todd Marley. Good morning, Todd.
Hello from the moon.
Yes. Isn't the moon weird, man? Does
I
it make-
mean, at the end of the day, even if you know a lot about the moon and understand it, it's still kind of weird. It's just
weird.
a rock. It's just a rock doing laps around us.
Is it a rock though, or is it a satellite? I mean, honestly, I think the best theory about life and the meaning of life did come from South Park again.
Yeah.
And that's the Earth reality TV show. We put together all these alien species on a planet.
I agree with
Watch
that
them-
too.
Yeah, fucking fight. And like that's what it is. It's like we're a reality show. And then the world finds out about it, and the way they react is like, we're all stars. I mean, it's spot on.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's true.
All my wisdom comes from Trey Parker and Matt Stone, honestly.
Matt Stone,
But
yeah.
with,
Yeah.
with the psychotic nonsense we live in, wouldn't it almost just be a relief? Wouldn't it make things make sense if it was just like, guess what?
Right.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Right.
All the behavior.
And I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for your meddling kids.
That's right. And their damn dog.
And their damn dog. We're gonna be showing some of your flyers for your D&D event too, right, Todd?
I just got I'm just the one I sent you. So
Okay.
I didn't hear back from Jaspers people. So
D&D guys, they sleep off.
we're done.
Right. We're going to be talking Dungeons and Dragons with Todd here in a little bit. We're also going to cover some of the headlines that we missed today, but we also did our morning moron this morning, and there was a PSA attached. If you're a teenager, you're going to get caught committing crimes because you're an idiot. If you see a cell phone, you're going to basically get yourself caught. Here's how that story went down. Check this out. So sweet. I love it. It's just a love song. Rockwell 2.1. Time for your morning moron. Let's do this.
Oh.
Mhm. I got to get into the stupid criminal news. These guys, morons. You know what's great though?
What?
If you're ever afraid that you're going to be victimized or robbed by a teenager, what you need to do is just leave a cell phone around. The rest will work itself out. I'll explain.
Okay.
There's 2 teens in North Georgia that are now facing charges after they stole a guy's truck on Sunday. Okay. Now they only got caught because they forgot how sophisticated phones are.
Mhm.
The owner of the truck left his phone in it. And when they found the phone, they started taking selfies
Wow.
because that's what teenagers do. They can't even help themselves. They're hardwired
That's true.
to take a selfie when they see a cell phone. That's what they do. Hey, we're committing a crime. Let's take a selfie.
Yeah.
Right? So, what they didn't realize was the guy's phone was connected to his Google Photos account,
Right.
aka the cloud, buddy. It's the cloud.
Yeah.
It takes everything. Every deep pic you ever took, it's in the cloud.
It's floating up there.
It's floating up there. People are going to see it. Trust me. It will get out there. And if you take a selfie on there on a stolen phone, it's definitely there. So all they got to do is crop the selfie, put a wanted sign around it,
Yeah.
and bam, you got your suspect. All the photos automatically got uploaded and synced. So he saw these selfies in real time. Oh, he's like, damn it, man. I wish I knew who stole my phone or my car. Oh, wait a second. I'm getting an update here on my laptop. Oh, okay. It's them. Oh, these damn kids. Now, it's not clear if they tried to delete them or not, but police got their hands on the photos and were able to ID them, and they were actually driving around in a different stolen truck when cops caught up with them.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Last we heard, the original stolen truck is still missing. I guess he's got to look through his photos because I'm pretty sure they, drove it off a cliff but took photos of the
Yeah.
wreck.
They definitely
Yes.
live stream that to their TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Are you following them on TikTok? Because I'm pretty sure the answers lie there for sure.
Yeah.
So, teenagers taking selfies while committing felonies definitely defines you as a morning moron.
Indeed.
Let's hit that reset. When we come back, we're going to have new music from the Red Hot Chili Peppers and a whole lot more information you need to know. Trust me, you need to know this. So don't go anywhere. It's Rock 2.1 KFMA. Beef Vegan Presents. And we're back on the podcast stream. Let me give you an example of a story here. I came across this story, and it's kind of like a stupid criminal, but it's not. I feel bad for this woman. You know, and honestly, I feel like she's getting in trouble just based off her appearance and her appearance alone. What happened was this woman has a thing for men in uniforms, right? She thinks
It's a common thing.
Yeah, it's a cliche.
Mhm.
You know, like women love a man in uniform. I don't know what it is, maybe because they look like they have a high earning potential.
Maybe it's
But
because
in
you
this
know what
case,
they're.
the woman saw a cute police officer, right? And those pants are designed to make the butt look better. I don't care what you say. Cops' pants are designed to make a cop's ass look money.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
They gotta stop traffic.
There you go. So this woman, this 50-year-old, look, you got Todd laughing on that one. This 50-year-old in North Dakota, saw this good-looking police officer and decided, since she was drinking, to let him know that she admired him. But the way that she did it was a little crass. See, what she did was she gave him a smack on the ass.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, normally, this would be a thing where they're like, hey, slow it down, or, I'm flattered, but keep your hands to yourself or something. But in this case, this 50-year-old woman wasn't very attractive, and they decided to throw the book at her. Here's the mugshot of this woman. And she's not terrible, but for the cop standards, apparently she's not even close to being a 3 because she was charged with a felony count of simple assault, yes, against a peace officer, and like I said, they threw the book at her. Sexual assault for offensive contact, which is a misdemeanor. But she's looking at up to 6 years in prison if convicted on both charges.
No.
Yes,
No,
that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
100% unnecessary.
That's a waste of time and money.
For a smack on the ass. You're like, come on, man.
You should get a slap on the wrist.
A slap on the wrist, yeah. A slap for a slap.
There you go.
But again, because this is like, imagine if this was like Pauline Gretzky, and that was an example of, I give you of a hot girl. Google her. That's Wayne Gretzky's daughter. She's smoking hot.
She is.
Yes. Or Sydney Sweeney. We've been lusting over her from Euphoria. You've been watching Euphoria, Herb?
I have not, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Absolutely. And you should watch Euphoria. I understand you won't understand most of it because of the lingo. It's a whole nother, it's like 10 generations
Because I'm old,
ago.
right? Okay. All right. All right. It's on my list. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of content to get through.
You're still going to be like, what is this MTV garbage? Is this a music video?
I'll wave my walker at it.
Yeah. I'm confused.
Is this a song? Where's the chorus? Yes. It is a great show. But Sydney Sweeney in it too. The first episode, you see her topless a lot. And we've seen her topless before. In fact, she's actually topless in pretty much everything she stars in.
But you're saying if she slapped your behind, you would be okay with it.
Yeah. Thank you for getting me back on
I
track.
was about to say,
I was
he's
just
again,
about to talk about her.
He sort of went off into it.
Totally.
You're absolutely right. So thank you for that. If it was someone who looked like Sydney Sweeney slapping a cop's ass, she would not get charges pressed against her. She'd probably get the cop pressed against her.
Hey, there you go.
Right?
That's true.
Or a phone number at the
Yeah.
very least.
Yeah.
But if it's this woman, then
She looks like she should be coaching a football team, this woman.
yes, she does.
Like perfectly, right?
She looks like how Kevin James looks like in the
Yes.
Home Game movie, whatever that just got
Yes.
released on Netflix.
That's wild.
Which I'm surprised you didn't review that, Herb.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, where's all your Kevin James hits?
I did watch that movie.
Yeah.
I have to pick and choose things that I think are, worthy.
You're right. I will say you don't miss anything. You did not miss that at all. But
It's no Paul Blart.
it
It's no
is
Paul
definitely,
Blart
Because
too.
the bar is so high with Blart.
Yeah.
definitely no Paul Blart. But there were some feel good moments. She did that. What I didn't know about that movie is it stars a lot of Adam Sandler's family. You see his wife is in there, and you could recognize his wife. His wife gets cast in a lot of Happy Madison stuff.
Yeah.
But it also stars his daughters. So he's getting his daughters in there, and he has his nephew in a prominent role.
Huh.
Yeah. So Adam Sandler is just basically employing his entire family in Hollywood.
Smart.
But I'll tell you this: is his nephew Jared Sandler?
Yeah.
Was really funny in that film. It was
Okay.
not bad. So I wasn't like pissed off by it.
Yeah.
I did watch it. It's a PG movie too. I think it's the
All
first
right.
PG movie I watched, and God knows when. And I'm so crass. I need to hear curse words just for me to be able to enjoy it.
Well,
But
then, so on that note,
Mhm.
you should check out All of Us Are Dead, the new Korean zombie series. on
is it
Netflix.
subtitles or English
No,
overdubs?
it's overdubbed, which of course is wildly distracting.
Yes.
But I mean, there are so many F-bombs and I mean, it's super gory.
okay.
12 episodes. These kids are stuck in a school. The whole school is full of zombies. Oh my, 12 episodes. I'm about 9 or 10 in. It's worth your time. It's
Okay.
worth your time.
Really, that good?
Yeah.
Is there any makers? Is the makers behind Squid Game, or is that just
No,
presumptuous?
it's
North
just,
Korean or South
just
Korean?
South Korean stuff is just red hot right now. So, anything they can find. I mean, but I can honestly see somebody saying we should make an American version of this. Cause I mean, it's like sort of, I mean, it's an interesting thing. I mean, they're stuck in a school. They got to fight their classmates off. And I got to say the actors, it's not even 100%. It's like 200%. I mean, when they're playing zombies, they're not just like, oh, I'm a zombie. They're like, bloodthirsty. I mean, it is intense.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, the zombie genre has been done to death. So
Yeah.
they were able to make it fresh.
Yeah. I'm going to
Okay.
tell you they are. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, there's a little bit of goofiness between like, some of the kids and stuff, but I mean, it probably could be like 9 or 10 episodes, not 12, but it's definitely, if you're a zombie fan, this is worth a look.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge zombie fan, but the stuff that's been cranked out of South Korea lately, and this has been the last 10 years. What do you think turned the tide? Was it them just becoming more and more Americanized or financially successful, and then being, cranking out their own product for so long they just got really good at it?
So here's the thing.
Okay.
I got a friend of mine who's a critic, and she's in Vermont or something, and she's sort of been doing a lot of studying of the whole Korean thing and trying to understand what that means. And basically what it is that Korea has this really robust film community, right? Like they have a big infrastructure for doing this stuff. And because it is in the Asian environment, right? It sort of translates really good to China, right? The biggest market, Japan, to, all over Indonesia, all over the Asian world. So it's like they're seeing their faces, they're hearing sometimes their language. So it's like it's almost a bigger slice than the English language market, right?
Yeah.
Or even Europe, which is broken into these different, kind of countries. So it's interesting that I think there's going to be a huge increase in even more of this Korean programming. The interesting thing is like the big thing out of Korea is the soap, is like, the telenovelas or the soap operas, right? But now, and it's all from a very male perspective. So now we're going to see even more and more and more of this content coming out because of Squid Game. And, they were talking about season 2, season 3 of Squid Game.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that, frankly.
I
don't know. I'm really curious because, I mean, that story was very self-contained.
Yes.
It was
and there's a big swerve. You can't do that again.
There was something at the end.
We gotta get on. Yeah.
But anyway.
There was a payoff. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're talking, South Korean content here that was being made with Herb Stratford on the stream. Also this weekend, there's a lot of fun for you D&D fans out there. And we have a dungeon master within the fam, Mr. Todd Marley. I've actually played Dungeons and Dragons with him. It was a really good time. He gets very animated, believe it or not.
I believe it.
The job.
Yes. Tell me about this D&D event and what it also raises money to proceed, because there's actually a nonprofit involved, right?
Right. This is all. First, it's all part of Winter Fantasy, which is a gaming convention taking place right now in Fort Wayne, Indiana, middle of nowhere, but it's actually one of the largest gaming conventions in the Northeast.
Okay.
And part of that, I was tapped to put on my version of the Wild Sheep Chase. And I have a handful
Wild
of
Sheep Chase is like an annual D&D event. What is that?
It is that is the campaign, the module that I run. It's the same one that I ran for you earlier.
Okay.
And I'm really it's a
I love.
I'm excited to get this group of people. Mel, my fiance, she's been part of this community for some time, as well as Gary and Lily Bean, who have both been voice actors and have been in a lot of these streams within this community.
Right.
And this is all taking place on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. local, at twitch.tv/baldmangames. You can just get on Twitch and search Baldman Games and you'll find me. You'll find me there. And the whole thing is going in support of Jaspers Game Day, which is they try to raise suicide awareness. It's everybody knows, especially in COVID times right now, everybody's getting
suicide rates
hard to get through.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
having information and having those numbers, having those people that you can reach out to and get in contact with, even if it's just to get you that one day, that one extra moment to keep you going. That's what Jaspers Game Day is all about. And so we will have a bunch of reroll incentives, a bunch of banes and boons that you can throw at the players or myself, the DM, all with donations going to Jaspers Game Day. All of that, once again, 6 p.m. locally, twitch.tv/baldman_games.
Excellent. Yeah. So if you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan and you like watching live streams as well, you could visit that and also raise awareness for an excellent organization. Thank you very much, Todd. We have to take a quick break. We're going to be back with your beef tip right after this. Don't go away. Clear. All right. The one thing on the poster that I'm looking at, first off, your picture. Right. Such an angry dungeon master.
Demonic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And then there's pronouns attached, right? Which is, makes sense. It's very 2022. She, her, Gary, he, him, they, them, and then Paul.
Paul very
pronouns?
Listen, Paul is he is probably
is that
the most
pronoun?
He's kind of right wing almost, very libertarian, and thinks the whole identify he him thing is just unnecessary. Like, why are we even bothering?
Yeah,
he's okay with but he's to the point of don't put any of that, don't put any of my socials, nothing. Just I am Paul. That's it.
Am I wrong in assuming that Paul, might also identify as they them?
Oh no, he would be he. He's he him.
Okay, he's he.
He looks like a lady.
Nope, that's a dude.
Okay, and he's not trying to look like a lady.
No, he's not.
Okay.
So he just happens to look like a lady in this thing where he is not saying I'm not a lady.
He's the one that you really need the pronouns for.
The only one.
Yeah.
Listen, that's not my decision to make. So
no. Yeah, no. He's like, my name's Paul. Oh, okay.
You got it, Paul.
Nah, Paul. Oh, all right. Well, sorry.
In a situation like this, are the people that do like the labels offended if he says, I don't want to use the label, so don't put a label on the thing?
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that too, and that argument too. Yeah, it's just the labels are a little redundant. And
it's all about your own personal choice at every step of the way. So he's making his own choice of just just whatever. I'm not putting it out there, so whatever you call me, whatever. He's not going to get offended by it.
Right, and that's good. My daughter's being a high school student. She or they, I should say, identifies they them. So does her friends, and it's confusing as shit, man. It really is. And my daughter's still very girly and has a boyfriend. And I'm wondering, are you ever gonna just, acknowledge yourself as a she or stop correcting me when I say things like that?
They do it.
Right. To be antagonistic.
I don't think they do that in a lot of other places or correct strangers. It's for you.
Right. But I've told this story before, but I've had situations where I pick up her friends and she'd be like, there they are. And it'd be one person. I'm like, well, where's the other one?
That's what I don't get about it too. Why didn't they just come up with a different word?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's so confusing, but that's how it is. So, honestly, I don't disagree with Paul there. I was just confused. It's the angle. Tell Paul he needs to get a better angle. All of you could work on better headshots to put on a flyer.
That's true.
And marketing 101. And I don't know if he nailed it. Todd, you go in here. It's just I am your dungeon master. Are we still talking about D&D or do you have an actual dungeon?
No, I do live in Arizona, so nobody has a basement.
That's true. Thankfully, or the FBI be knocking on your door for sure. I appreciate that, Todd. I'll talk to you. Have a good luck on this event this weekend. Have fun with it, and then I'll touch base with you here next week.
Word later on.
All right, take it easy, Todd. Say bye to Todd, everybody. We only got a couple minutes here left, and we're going to do the beef tip and wrap things up. Derek, I know, has been in the same situation. So confusing. I started calling everyone you there, and they hate fuckface. Yeah, fuckface is universal.
That's a universal one.
It is.
It is.
Long before gender roles, just a fuckface.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just fine.
Yeah.
I had a different one. So I had someone accuse me of being a racist once. It was a homeless maniac. I was working in a restaurant, right?
Well, that's not good.
And then he's trying to get something and just whatever. And he's like, you're a racist. And you just got to be from asshole is not a race, sir.
That's true.
And everybody laughs because he's just being an asshole.
Yeah.
It would be a Star Trek species.
That's a good comeback.
Right.
Right. You're from the planet ass, right?
Yeah. That's all.
Speaking of racism, I got in a situation where there's a black guy who was afraid that I could have been racist. It was a situation that felt very uncomfortable. I felt bad for him. So what happened was I was coming home the other day in the afternoon.
Wearing a pillowcase on my head as I do. Go on.
So as I'm coming home, about to pull into my driveway, I notice this kid. He's like in his 20s, young 20s, pushing this Mustang, trying to get it parked on the street, right?
Is he like in the middle of the street?
He wasn't in, by the time I pulled up, he was getting close to the curb.
Okay.
Right? It was at the tail end, but he's by himself.
No one was stopping. All
No
right.
one was stopping, but it was a side street. It's not like it was a lot of traffic. So like I pull in, I get out of the car, walk over. I'm like, you need a hand? Like I help push,
Yeah.
and he just got it to the curb. He's like, no, I just ran out of gas. And I had to pull it on the street and pull on the side of the street. I called an Uber. I'm going to the gas station. I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, I know it looks weird. And so he started acting like, because I forget I'm a 40-year-old white dude and coming over and
Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Right. But that's not how my approach was at all. I literally was ready to help. Like, where are we pushing this thing? Like you obviously look like you need help. And I felt bad for him because he was just nervous and he was over explaining the situation. Like, hey, man, no, I get it. It doesn't. He's like, I know this looks strange. I'm like, it doesn't look strange, man. It just looks like you need a hand, but you're good, because obviously you're not going to try to steal a car. I'm just going to push this thing 3 blocks and then I'm, get away. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely felt bad in that situation, and it was an awkward, weird thing to kind of get involved in. You're like, oh no, just here to help.
And that's being a person of color in America.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, always being suspected of doing something wrong.
And
For
I
real.
even thought of something. That's why he feels like he's walking eggshells. White eggshells, because that's what we're doing to them.
Not the
Terrible
natural
white
eggshells.
people.
Not
No.
the natural
No.
eggshells.
Terrible white eggshells.
It's always the bleached eggshells.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. White people.
Karen.
Yeah.
Excellent, Karen.
Are eggs white now because of racism? Was it white people back in the day that said, "Oh, these are too delicious to be brown"?
There's probably that.
bleach
I
these
bet it
white.
was that. They
Well,
probably
Yeah, they
didn't
probably
like the brown eggs.
they probably bred it out
because
Yeah.
racist.
Yeah.
I mean, it only gets more racist the further back you go. I mean, it seemed that way for a long time. I don't know going forward. But it always felt like racism. We were just leaving it behind.
Yeah.
So that's why we finally got brown eggs.
Yeah, you could be right.
Also, Mike said, "I'm from Cali, where everyone is dude."
Right. Dude works.
Yes,
Yeah.
I need to pull up Mike emailed me the other day. There was the pet. Remind me of the pet there, Mike. But there's a zoo. I gotta bring awareness to this. He sent me an email. We had this lady on the other show where you got these animals, and it's escaping me what they are, but they look like oversized rodents, but they're really cool.
Capybara.
Yeah, capybara, right?
Yeah, I love capybara.
Right. Oh, they're looking for a new farmland. They're looking for a new place, a new zoo. And that's my understanding. I have to figure out a little bit more. But Mike, I didn't forget about it. We'll talk more about it Monday on the stream and maybe even bring that conversation on air. Try to help out if we can. I don't know if we can. But I know none of that made sense to most of you. And I
No, I
apologize.
have no idea what's going
About to
on.
wrap
It
it up.
sound- I'm probably
I
gonna
just got
save
capybara.
capybaras.
That's all I got out of it.
Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I'm just sitting here confusing Powers and Herbs with my random just rambling. Blah, blah, blah.
Giant rodent talk. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let me close strong and
All right,
give you
all
a
right.
beef tip because it's Friday and we're almost out of here. And this is an actual beef tip. When you're working out, if you're running, why don't you try retro running? You know what retro running is?
Running backwards.
So stupid it is.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is. Yeah, retro running. It's been around for a while, but it's trending right now because it supposedly burns more calories. And most sources say they burn 20 to 30% more calories and it's better for your knees. So if you're looking to lose some weight and not afraid to fall on your ass, try retro running and you'll get in shape in no time. So you'll be like turning the clock backwards. It's essentially, you're just running backwards, trying to go back to your high school self.
Yeah.
You run backwards far enough. Next thing you know, you're 18 years old and got a 6-pack.
Oh,
You're
finally.
peaking. You're Al Bundy scoring 4 touchdowns in one game.
Nice. And then by football rules.
Such an old reference.
Football.
I said that for Herb.
Okay.
He
Great.
understood it.
Thank you.
But yeah, so would you be willing to run backwards is the question. But a new poll says 70% people say no way, but 30% of people super fit. So try retro running as your beef tip of the day. And you might lose a little weight faster. I'll try it. And if I look svelte on Monday, it worked.
It'll
That's
work
right.
that fast.
Exactly. All right, that's it. We ran out of time. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. As always, enjoy your weekend. We'll be back live on Monday morning with a great show lined up for you. Till then, drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish
Thanks,
upon a side of beef, soon will come an end to all your grief.
I like the song.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.